Hey everyone! We are working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy the content and it is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button right now as we proceed. Subscribe right now and do not look away from this screen, because what is happening at the Indian Wells Tennis Garden this week is the most extraordinary story in professional tennis, and none of it requires embellishment, none of it requires exaggeration, and none of it is going to slow down for a single second between now and the final on March 15th. Eala has made history by becoming the first Filipino tennis player to compete at the Indian Wells Open, the event widely regarded as the fifth Grand Slam and the most attended tennis tournament outside of the four majors. That milestone alone deserves every headline it generates. But the milestone is not even the most remarkable thing that has happened this week. What has already unfolded around Eala in the California desert before she has struck a single ball in competitive play is what the entire world is scrambling to find the right words to describe. Let us give you those words right now. Indian Wells set an all-time attendance record in 2025 when 504,268 fans passed through the gates across 15 days of competition. That number stood as the most extraordinary commercial achievement in the tournament's history. Now, in 2026, the tournament director has gone on the record with a statement that changes the entire conversation. He said that with Eala making her debut this year, that record could be broken. Not might. A tournament director who has seen everything this event has produced across its decades of history is publicly raising the possibility that a single 20-year-old Filipino woman's presence in the draw is capable of shattering an attendance record that had never previously been touched. That is not marketing language. That is an operational assessment from the person responsible for managing the venues, the crowds, and the logistics of one of the biggest tennis events on earth. The Dubai Tennis Championships tournament director Salah Talik delivered perhaps the most honest and most moving statement any tournament official has made about Eala this year. He said after watching her matches in Dubai pack the center court stadium, "We have never seen anything like it." He added that he was genuinely delighted that his sport and his tournament had captured the hearts of Filipino fans in the UAE because of the passion they brought to the stadium. That is a tournament director describing something that exceeded every expectation he had built across years of running one of the most prestigious events on the WTA calendar. Never seen anything like it. Those four words, from that source, in that context, say everything. Eala said it herself in a video posted by the BNP Paribas Open. She has only dreamed of making tennis grow in the Philippines, and now she is bringing a whole new audience to the sport all around the world. She described the Filipino community's sense of collective pride. When one of us does well, all of us share that pride. A Filipino fan at Indian Wells put it even more personally, saying that when Eala plays, they all get together, watch as a group, and plan their dinners around her match schedule. That is not a fan base. That is a community built around a champion. Sam Querrey, a former Grand Slam finalist who has competed at the highest levels of professional tennis and who understands better than almost anyone what genuine drawing power looks like on the WTA Tour, sat down this week and was asked directly whether Eala is the biggest draw in women's tennis right now. His answer had no hedging, no qualifications, no diplomatic softening. And when pushed further, asked whether she is bigger than Aryna Sabalenka, bigger than Coco Gauff, he said something extraordinary. He compared what is happening around Eala to the Fonseca effect on the men's side at Miami last year and then immediately clarified, "Actually, it is bigger than that." Steve Johnson elaborated, describing venues in Australia and Dubai as standing room only, saying the attention has been insane and massive, and noting that each tournament appearance generates even greater buzz than the one before. "The excitement," Johnson said, "just keeps getting bigger and bigger with every event she enters." Jessica Pegula, one of the most respected and level-headed competitors on the WTA Tour, spoke about the moment she walked onto the court against Eala at the Miami Open and encountered something she had genuinely not prepared for. She used the word insane. Not as a complaint, not as a criticism, but as the purest possible acknowledgement of something historic unfolding around her in real time. She said you can hear the crowd roaring from the hotel. From the hotel. The atmosphere inside those courts is so loud and so alive that it travels beyond the walls of the stadium and into the surrounding grounds. That is not a crowd reaction. That is a movement. She also described the Australian Open experience specifically, noting that the court was overwhelmed, that the organization was caught completely off guard, and that the scenes outside the stadium during Eala's matches were unlike anything that Grand Slam had witnessed in years. Ana Ivanovic, the former world number 1 and Roland Garros champion, made perhaps the most striking individual statement of any tennis legend who has spoken about Eala this year. She assessed what Eala has built in terms of global recognition and fan devotion and said directly that it has already surpassed what Sania Mirza built across an entire professional career. She framed it with full respect for Mirza's legacy. She was not diminishing what came before. She was making an honest, measured assessment of what is happening right now, from the perspective of a former champion who has been at the top of this sport and knows exactly what she is watching. And she added that the ceiling Eala possesses is that much higher. And then there is Novak Djokovic, 24 Grand Slam titles, the greatest tennis player who has ever lived, who stopped his press conference at the Australian Open and said her name unprompted. Djokovic said, "Having too much crowd in any tournament is a good problem to have. There are much worse problems to have." He then brought up Eala directly, calling the Philippines a big deal and naming her the biggest tennis player that country has ever produced. When the greatest player in history devotes his press conference time to defending and celebrating a 20-year-old from Quezon City before a tournament has even started, you understand the magnitude of what is unfolding. Eala enters Indian Wells ranked 32nd in the world, having packed stadiums from Manila, Auckland and Melbourne to Abu Dhabi, Doha, and Dubai throughout the 2026 season. California has the largest Filipino population in the United States, approaching 2 million people. Her second-round opponent is Ukraine's Diana Yastremska, ranked 52nd, who Eala already defeated 6-1, 6-2 at the 2025 Eastbourne quarterfinals. A potential third-round rematch with Coco Gauff awaits if both advance. The field also includes world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka, Naomi Osaka, Emma Raducanu, and Maya Joint. This is the 5th Grand Slam. There are no easy paths. There are no guaranteed outcomes. But the fans who traveled from the Philippines, from Los Angeles, from across California, from across the entire Filipino diaspora in North America, did not travel for guarantees. They traveled because they believe in something real. And so does every legend of this sport who has opened their mouth and said her name this week. Drop everything in the comments right now. Does Alex Eala win Indian Wells on her debut? Does the Gauff rematch happen, and does she flip the Dubai result when it does? And when Sam Querrey says she is bigger than Sabalenka and Gauff is a draw, does that make you feel the weight of what this 20-year-old from the Philippines has built in less than 12 months? Tell us everything. Smash that like button if you believe the titles are coming and this is just the beginning of the story. Subscribe to this channel right now because her second-round match is happening this Saturday morning and we are covering every single point live. Share this with every Filipino fan you know. The 5th Grand Slam is here. The first Filipino is competing. And the whole world is watching.